How's it going, everybody? It's me, Slagliano. I wanted to create a little series based off of what my current Twitch streams have been. So I have been going through and playing all of the COD games on PC, not like any of the funky Finest Hours or Big Red ones, anything like that. All on veteran difficulty on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Slagliano. Check it out. And I thought I've been having such a brutal time playing all of these campaigns that maybe it would be a good idea to go through and do a little kind of tier list, sort of ranking from each COD game that I've played on stream, and just tell y'all about like the worst, most brutal experiences that I've had. So just some of the toughest, not necessarily missions, but just like sections. Some of them are going to be missions, some of them are going to just be like small parts, some of them are going to be little gripes. They might not all be equivocally as difficult for everybody, but it's just the things that in my personal experience playing through the campaign, not blind because I've played them before, but it's been years, but semi-blind, kind of just going at it one by one. And I started playing COD 1, went kind of further chronologically. I didn't start streaming it until I was about 2/3 of the way through Call of Duty 2, which was pretty gnarly. I think of all the COD campaigns, even including Call of Duty 1 and United Offensive, I think Call of Duty 2 took me the longest because it was pretty serious. It was kind of gnarly. So I am starting off in this video going to be going over Call of Duty 2. Like I said, I kind of started late, and the sections that I had trouble with prior to beginning streaming it, before I had the idea to start streaming it, I don't remember, so they're not going to be in the video. So it's not going to be super comprehensive, this first one, but from Call of Duty 4 onward, as of right now, on March 27th, I'm on Modern Warfare 3. I'm about halfway through Modern Warfare 3, I think, currently. So I'm going to sort of be a little bit behind and just sort of updating as I go all of my little moments that I had and all the little struggles that I had. So let's just jump into it. I have 4 specific instances in COD 2 of times where I was just like flabbergasted by how hard it was, or just how annoying or weird a little section was. And I'm going to do them in order from least annoying to most annoying. So let's just jump right into it. So this little section here, the mission is the Brigade Box. Not too terrible of a mission prior to this point, but this final section where you storm the building, you take it over, and then you have to hold, and any mission, literally any mission with a timer, you got me. You win. You win, I lose. If you put a timer on it, I'm going to be stressed out. As soon as I see a clock ticking, you got me feeling weird, you got me feeling bad. I am assuming they expect you, when you're not playing on Veteran, to just sit on these machine guns the entire time, which is insanely not feasible when you're actually playing the mission properly, and definitely not feasible on Veteran. So I'm just like sprawling around. I was on the MGs for a minute, and then immediately they get into the building. I'm like, okay, basement it is, we're hiding away, taking cover behind the boxes, doing whatever I can. There's 2 entrances to this basement with the stairs and the doorway on the left. After a while, I just hid behind the stairs, lobbing some nades, waiting for guys to come in, praying that I don't get trolled, and just like farming, and just waiting for the timer to go away. I got caught out really bad here, where I just sprayed Captain Price right in the face because no one other than enemies have come down that stairwell for the entire, like, 2 minutes I was down here. And then he decided to just saunter his fucking British ass down the stairs and get sprayed by me. So, after banging my head against a wall over and over again and just, like, waiting, I got a couple of lucky saves in there. I got a save here, so I assumed I was good to push out, and, of course, I wasn't. They just started storing my ass down the stairs. Same section, just like getting shot in the side of the head. Pretty brutal, but you know, we deal, we live. Just kind of waiting it out. After you survive through this reinforcement section, you get a checkpoint, and it tells you to go outside and blow up a tank. Yeah, and we are buggered without an anti-tank weapon, as you see with the subtitles. So you need to literally run outside and put a fucking C4 on this tank. And this is that point I finally felt brave enough to escape the stairwell. As you notice, the timer is gone. Here, I'm remarking that I have literally no smoke grenades. So I'm stressed. I'm feeling weird. The tank is shooting at me. And this is where I made my suicide run. Just death in, running in, go into the little crater here, and I get stuck. You have to go all the way around the outside. And I'm just running in, watching this thing tracking me. This part had me so stressed out. I think I first tried this. I don't think I died here, which was pretty awesome and very lucky. And yeah, I couldn't believe, and you can see my face, I'm relieved. I couldn't believe how weird and stressful this part was. Definitely not a good one. This section here is the crossing point. The primary thing you have to do for this guy is there are 3 big flak guns that you need to go and destroy. Once you pop into this mission, they present you with the first one. This one gave me the most trouble of all the flak guns easily. You just need to fight off all the guys out in the front, and they were tough, and they aim punched the crap out of you and made you feel real weird. But I was just kind of sitting back for a while, plinking them off, because you see the flat gun. It's right in front of me on the screen right now. Just running up on it. And you kill all the guys that are on it, but it doesn't give you the objective marker. In order to get the objective marker, you have to go all the way around the outside of the building, which then spawns in more guys. This dude was absolutely beaming me. I had kind of a mission to get him. When you go around to the left-hand side, there's this little area that you're seeing here, and as soon as you cross over like that little threshold where those little barricades are and the blown-up car, there's just 1,000 dudes that spawn in. Just an absolute mess of guys out here in the front with an MG in the very back that you see me trying to pick off with the Garand. And just constantly lobbing nades at you, constantly respawning. Lots of cover for them, and you're on this weird slope, so you're always looking up at them. I eventually broke through their defenses here, just kind of making my way up, still picking more guys off as they spawn in those buildings. You have to loop all the way around and then come at it from the right. So I'm just kind of waiting for all of these nades to blow up and hoping I can catch dudes out without getting destroyed. I don't know how, while I was playing, I missed that guy on the right. He was on the screen for like a good 6-7 seconds, just not shooting me, which I was very lucky. You eventually come down and then just immediately, wave of dudes that spawn in like an absolute hailstorm, flying right at you from the front of that flat gun. Once you clear them out, you do get the objective clear, which took me a minute, but super duper frustrating part. I was banging my head against the wall trying to take out this flat gun. Every time I would go up and take that first crossing, I would just get obliterated. As you're making your way to the second flat gun, you're just in this super narrow alleyway. Just tons of nades, tons of dudes spawning in everywhere, just spraying you through this like weird whack-ass cover, nade spamming you. I would just kept like running in, laying down, throwing a bunch of nades, restocking ammo, laying down, rinse and repeat. My teammates are exploding in front of me, getting absolutely thrown around. But just spraying everything down and hoping for the best. Just kind of moving forward. Once you clear that hallway, or that big alleyway, you end up at this clearing here, big field. Not insane amounts of spawns in the field, but you cross the field and then there's your second flat gun. You finally get it. Secured. We're up big. Onto the third flat gun. We enter this little tiny building, which opens up into another huge kind of clearing area. This is right before that. You got to clear out these hallways and these alleyways, lots of little buildings, MG gunners getting snuck up on. Here's that big clearing. It's like almost a monument or like a statue at this town center type place. Tons of spawns. I'm just lobbing nades everywhere. The third flat gun is right in front of me. I'm there trying to eyeball some grenade ammo. Third flat gun is in front of me. Just lots of guys spawning from the broken wall in the back, and as I'm clearing them out, this is where shit starts getting really rough. Is I go and I rush this flat gun, I get on it, and I'm like, oh cool, tank. Let's blow it up with a flat gun. Nope. That's not how the timing works. I gotta save right here. So I'm getting on this gun, I'm like, I can't blow it up. My game saves. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed here. Here's a little time lapse of how many times I tried to jump off of the gun and got blown up. I so badly did not want to restart this mission, and I was trying to get off the gun and run away, and the tank was just absolutely eating my fucking ass. Just punching me right in the face. Over and over again. I eventually learned the tech. You gotta get off the flat gun. I was trying to get off it and run away. I started here to get off it and run towards the tank. I eventually did that. I was like, okay, sick. Got the bomb planted, immediately obliterated by 500 dudes. But I knew the tech now, so all it was a matter of time. Finally, got a good plant. I decided to just sit here and hide and hope the tank explosion wouldn't get me. It did not. I was good, and now all I had to do was clear out all the guys, and then there's actually a second tank you need to blow up. But that tank wasn't as hard as this one. I just took my time on that one. This part was the gnarly part. Just kind of clearing out that tank. Finally got it. Got out of the death loop of the flak gun being blown up, and then just clearing out all the remainder of the guys in the square and finishing the mission here. Not too bad. This mission here is the silo. Worst part about this mission is really all of it. There's if you look at the bottom left of the minimap, an entire bloody kindergarten class alphabet's worth of objectives that you have to do. Each one of them signifies a building that you need to clear. All of those buildings have just like a preposterous quantity of enemies inside of them. All really fun. When you first come out, there's a big open field that you have to cross. Once you get across that, you're met with this little area here, which I got through really early, really easily. Just ran right up into this little building here, garanding dudes, getting clapped. I come up this stairwell and just get caught super off guard by that guy. Nails me. And then I proceed to get hard stuck on this part for a good 20 minutes. Here's just a little compilation of me running up, trying to get into the building, and getting shattered by people down the street. Super fun. Really, really sick. Here's me shooting my teammate in the head on accident, which happens way too often in this game. Some people you can just unload a full magazine into. They won't even flinch at you. One guy, you click him once, and that shit, in the words of the game, is not tolerated. So just like banging my head against the wall, trying to get into this building, just trying to get to the first one. So at this point I was already kind of checked out. I was like, this mission is brutal. I can't even get into the building for the A objective. Finally make it back to where I was, and just waiting to get pushed, getting randomly rushed by a bunch of enemies on a stairwell. At that point, I think those were the last dudes, and I captured A. Now onto F, which was the next closest one by my approximation in terms of where to go on the map and what parts to hit, what parts not to hit. Just kind of moving in, trying to clear this building out, using every single grenade that I possibly have. Just blowing everyone up, got shot in the back, and then peeked out and absolutely ripped McManus's head off. He was pissed. And then same thing happened again. I got into the building first try, and then now every time I'm rushing the building, hard stuck again, getting blown up, getting shot at, can't even get in. I'm starting to just do a little bit of run and gun at this point, because I'm doing all this pushing and running in so much and just getting smacked, and that guy just got the shit beat out of him. Poor dude. And just like jiggle peeking every doorway, going prone, shooting more teammates, and just like throwing pixel peak angle grenades through everything. Finally got F. Now we're on to D, the next building in the order that I was going in. Just lobbing nades, pushing up, getting caught way out in the open, and as soon as you go out in the open, dudes are going to lock onto you. Like, they are absolute laser beams. Navy SEAL level lock onto you as soon as you walk outside. I'm just pushing in, throwing a nade, running away, going prone was kind of my protocol for this whole part of the game. This whole mission, and even missions prior to this, I was like, just run in, throw a nade, lay down on the ground. Someone starts shooting at you, lay down, recover your health, jiggle peek. Just clearing out all the buildings, trying to make my way through. Getting shot from someone who I don't even know exists, so I give him my entire bandolier, and then pick up even more off the dudes. One other thing I always thought was weird. This game, whenever you restock your grenade ammo, you only get 3 grenades, but the max limit is 4. Why not 2? Why not 4? Because you always pick them up and then you get one more. This is just more me getting stuck in corners from guys in all directions, throwing nades. We're taking building E now. This one I think was the easiest of all of them. Just inspecting the bedroom, making sure people aren't up to any hubbub, cheering at my game save that I just got, and then just working my way through. Now we're up into C. This building was pretty easy to get to, but once you got into it, you get these crazy claustrophobic, like, mail rooms with all of these post office boxes. I'm just spinning around and shooting because I don't even know where people are. They're just appearing, and they kind of blend in, too, with all the gray that's everywhere. This guy's got an absolute lock on me. Just targeted so hard. This section took absolutely forever. Just in editing this, I'm kind of reliving these experiences that I had on the stream through the editing. Here's Goldberg looking absolutely suave and sick. I love the faces. I love the models. You don't look at them too close often. But anyway, in editing, just going through all these sections again and reliving them, reminding me of how long it took me to get through some of them and how slow I was playing it at certain points. And then other points I just, like that, ran in, guns blazing. Not a care in the world. Just trying to take everyone out. Last building captured, and I was like, oh, cool, mission's over, right? And here I am wincing. What else could there be? An entire sniper section with, you guessed it, dudes coming from all over the map that you have to spin around and just figure out where they are. Also, you'll see soon on the screen, another fucking timer. We love a timer, we love a reinforcement timer, and we love they're just spawning mortar teams all over the map. They're supposed to be marked by the stars, and I did not look and see where those stars were quick enough for a lot of this mission. I got pretty far into it, you can see the timer, and then boom. Mortar team nails me. Ulysses S. Grant giving us some words of wisdom, but just trying to manage the spawns and paying attention to what's the oldest star on the map? What's the newest one? Where do I hit? I literally watched them launch that one while I was reloading. And the bloody Springfield scoped in this game takes forever to reload. Finally, got him. Looking at Brayburn, just being an absolute hero. Kept scoping in on him and then unscoping on him, and he just kept repeating voice lines over and over again, which was super fun. Great way to end that abysmal, long, brutal mission. Sniped all the mortar teams, and just super excited and ready for the next one at this point. Just enjoying every little thing I can.
Come on it, sir!
Finally, this very last spot here is the Battle for Hill 400. This mission was an absolute slog. This one was a doozy and a half. The main goal of it, you start off, it's kind of a two-part mission. The first half, you're coming up this hill and you're assaulting this German bunker. This is towards the end of the game. This might be one of the last, if not the last, American missions in the game. I believe it is. Pretty close to the end of the game, but You're running up this hill, you gotta take this bunker, you finally take it, and then the mission resets and it starts into a second half. That second half is holding the bunker, so your first objective is to go around this entire encampment. There's a bunch of mortar teams around the perimeter of the map, and they are just so whack. The entire time you're going up to the barbed wire edge and trying to snipe these mortars, there's dudes just spawning 180 degrees all behind you, making a total mess of your plans. Doesn't really help a whole lot. That was a nice collat. GG. But it's just brutal, this first part. And this is, I think, probably the easier part of the mission, which is the tough part. But you can just see I'm shooting guys, and there's no way to just keep track of everything. And there's not a lot of good sight lines you can get on these guys. You're sort of moving around in a big circle around this area, and you have to be right up on the border to get a sight line, and when you do that, you just leave yourself totally exposed. So you spend a ton of time just trying to throw smokes and dodge around in these bunkers, getting shot at by guys that do that, and just having an overall rough time. I ended up getting pretty close, and the checkpointing is so weird. Another example of those weird early COD checkpoints. You don't get a checkpoint every time you kill one of the mortars. You get it kind of arbitrarily. And so you kind of end up in this loop where, oh, I got two of them down, and then you die, and then you got to kill them over again. And I kind of just rinsed and repeated that until I got as far as I possibly could in this section. Just kind of banging my head against the wall like normal. Coming up here, I just sped through all of my attempts because I just died a bunch of times in a row on like my last 3 or 4 mortar teams. So they kind of keep respawning until they don't, and then once they stop respawning, you are good to start the next part of the mission. But I'm just kind of running around here in circles, trying not to get killed, and then I think I finally decided at this point I was just going to rush the mortar teams and literally ignore all the enemies. So I finally made it. This part ends. I'm like, okay, cool, the objective marker's in the bunker. I'm just going to sit here and hide in the corner because I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm waiting. I think I went AFK for a minute here on stream. I come back, I unpause the game, and this is what I unpause to. 1, 2, 3, 4 grenades, 5, 6, 7. 3 of them directly in front of me, and I had nowhere to go. There still wasn't another objective that had popped up yet. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, so I just went back to my corner, hoping that wouldn't happen again, but they are deathly accurate with those little stick grenades, so I got obliterated again. Decided at this point, maybe I should go outside and just run around. The voice lines are like, there's a half track coming up, so alright, let me grab a Panzer, sit out here. The objective is still just defend the bunker. There's no kind of indication of how long you're going to have to do that or what kind of progress you're going to have to make. You're just sort of in the dark if you haven't already played this or you don't remember playing it. Just kind of chilling and waiting. I keep dying on this part, trying to go out and blow up the half track and just getting naded from crazy range. Trying to figure out where I'm supposed to stand, what I'm supposed to do. Eventually, I was like, I'm just going to go outside and run around in circles and kill a bunch of enemies. Maybe that'll do something. Just getting nade spammed, trying to throw them back, trying to keep my ammo up, running around in circles. Just tons of dudes everywhere. I'm just swinging around. Here's another classic. There were 3 enemies there, and now all of a sudden there's a buddy. Finally, after enough of that running around, I went back and sat in the middle, and wouldn't you know, my best friend, my old pal, my bud, timer. This time, 5 minutes. I think it's the longest one in the game. You can see my forehead wrinkles developing. I decided I was just going to sit here as long as I could. You see, I made it to like 3:30, and then dudes just started stepping on my head. So that plan wasn't going to work. So I just started running around in circles again, the same way that you do for those mortar teams, except now the enemies are all just right on top of you. It is pretty brutal. It takes so long to get through this. I'm throwing so many smoke grenades, throwing frags everywhere, just like running through. There's a bunch of little craters that kind of develop as the battle goes on, and you can hide in them and just pray that the grenades that they're throwing at you don't land in there. This is kind of a certified gamer moment here. Charged out. I was getting pushed out. Nades. Shooting through this guy's body. Just insane. Clock is ticking down. Doing as much as I can. I decided to go hide back in my room and see what happens if I go back into my normal little hidey hole, and just completely get rained out again by grenades. And wouldn't you know, the same little spot, I'm like, oh, the grenades are all going in there, I'm good. Nope. Mr. Fisticuffs right on top of my head again. Same as last time, just like 3 minutes later. 3 minutes game time later. Real life time, it was probably like 15-20 minutes, I think, between those. You know, you get a checkpoint like every 2 minutes or so like just getting reset over and over and over again, just trying to hold down the fort, trying to find any spot where I don't have to just constantly be running and aimbotting people. Definitely the hardest mission in the game, even though I only recorded about a third of the game. This one, I vividly remember, was like, dude, this is brutal. But after a while, you get it. You take everybody out, and then I'm gleeful. I'm outside running around in circles. Definitely a slog. But still, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed my time in Call of Duty 2. And I hope y'all enjoyed watching the video. And keep tuned. Probably next week or so, I'm going to do Call of Duty 4. So thanks again, y'all.